this in a studio somewhere far, far away.
You bugger!
Picture this. Picture this.
Mary Whitehouse Experience!
This is the modern soul. These cases of coma dwellers who at the last minute, just as they were slipping down heaven's grassy slopes towards eyes that last they saw in dreams, were snatched back by being played their favourite music.
Hold on, they're playing Spandau Ballet. Actually, one of the things I think about a lot is what I'd do if Rob ever had a terrible accident and went into a coma. I mean, it's over 5 years we've been working together now. So what I've done is, just in case, I've already made him his own special coma tape.
And the award for Best Young Comedian goes to David Baddiel. And now a message from your girlfriend, Rachel.
Oh, Martin. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I never let Rob do that.
My nan once said that she wouldn't want to live if she ever reached that point where she began to lose her mental powers. Nan, if a quark is travelling at 3 nanoseconds below the speed of light, what to the power of r is its mass density? Goodbye, Nan! It's got to be better like that. I mean, my big fear is I'll be one of those people who are out in a coma for so long, eventually the hospital will send you home, and then you're just there with the other household gadgets wired up to a 13-amp circuit board.
And now, with the time just going up to 7 o'clock, let's get a weather update.
Welcome to Top of the Pops. It's Dave.
What sea is an animal commonly known as the ship of the desert? Sorry, we don't have time for that. See you next week for another edition of Blockbusters. While she screams, here comes your first catchphrase.
Every town, every area, every street has a man your mother warned you about. When she told you not to talk to strange men, this is the strange man you weren't supposed to talk to. Now, the stereotype image here, of course, is of a bloke who hangs around a lot, wearing a Mac and trying to talk to people.
Hello! I have with me the Junior Minister for Overseas Development. Would you like to see my photographs?
But the reality is rather weirder. Now, where I grew up, the local Mr. Strange really looked the part, because they've all got common characteristics. They quite often wear a hat, but they definitely have a bag slung far too high across their chest. And as an optional extra, they might well be sucking on an empty carton of Kiora. There used to be this bloke in Safeways in Streatham. And what he used to do is he would stand there for hours at the milk counter. And he would weigh it and sniff it. And I always used to think to myself, well, why? Tonight's contestants are all from the southeast, and their specialist subjects include the life and work of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, the First Crusade, 1091 to 1103, the plays of Arthur Wing Pinero, and Milk and the Way It Smells. Mr. Strange, you have 2 minutes on Milk and the Way It Smells, starting from now. A carton of semi-skimmed is left out in the open for 3 days. How does it smell?
Lovely.
In midsummer, how long to turn a pint of UHT into live yogurt?
18 days.
Correct. Once opened, where should you correctly store a carton of milk?
On a radiator.
No one knows what it is that these people do for a living. But, for example, don't cast him in a Persil advert.
I took these dirty undies and I washed them in an ordinary biological powder at 40 degrees. Then I took these dirty undies home. I didn't wash them at all. Milky, milky.
I was playing a video trivia game, and the question came up: if you were spending francs, speaking Flemish, and wearing lederhosen, where would you be? I thought, well, you could be in Leicester Square. If you took enough acid. I pressed Swiss Austria, and that was the correct answer, so I was up for double or nothing. I was up for 10 quid, and the machine gave me this question. If all history is relative, there can be no such concept as being. Discuss. Easiest 10 quid I've ever earned. But despite my computer game prowess, I refuse to play Nintendo Game Boys because I don't want to be the type of adult male who plays Nintendo Game Boys. In fact, I want to see a Nintendo game that's genuinely aimed at the type of man who plays it.
I was looking for a job, I found a job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now.
It's never enough, and that's why I need a virtual reality suit. You know, you can buy these all-over body suits with sensors built into them, and suddenly you can live in a completely artificial world and have half an hour of fake interaction with people that aren't real. A suit like this.
All right, well, I'll flub, plubbly, plubbly, flub. Aha, all right. All right, and let's all laugh at an old lady who collects crisps.
The 20th century experience is a feeling that life is being lived more intensely elsewhere. And that's why when virtual reality suits are as easy to get hold of as Game Boys, who's going to choose Northampton?
Today, the pavements of London became all syrupy and doorknobs felt like breasts. Many people encountered dinosaurs for the first time and no arrests were made. Excuse me, I've just been handed a piece of paper. Thanks, Gaza. I believe we can now go over live to Ben Brown in Beirut.
I'm standing in front of the Shiite rebel camp where at this very moment I can see, oh my God, incoming! Everybody take cover!
So just give us the virtual reality suits now and we can become astronauts in the parallel universe. Ever sharper microcircuits bringing us fantastically close to actual reality.
fastest milk cart in the West. With that, the trees are rustling, or the hinges of the gate, or Ernie's ghostly gold tops are rattling in their grate. They won't forget old Ernie.
Ernie.
Drove the fastest milk cart.
Horse racing is a sport unique in the fact that it exists entirely and solely for the purposes of betting. Because when you think about it, take away the betting, and what have you got?
They're on the starter's orders, and they're away, and straight into the lead goes a horse, followed by another horse, and lots of horses all running very fast. And here comes a horse overtaking another horse, and there's a brown one, followed by a grey one, and there's a black one with a white bit, and they're all running along, and one of them is going into the lead, and this is tremendously exciting, because at the end we're going to know which of these 12 horses could run faster than the others, and the crowd is cheering on the big horse. They'd love to win for the sake of the horse's own personal esteem, and as they come into the final straight, the crowd is shouting, "Come on, let's see the physical limit to which equine quadrupeds can go." So as they come to the line, it's the grey one from the one with the white bit and the brown one, and the winner goes forward to the semi-finals, where he meets an antelope, a leopard, and a caribou.
If you're not into horses, you can always do the pools. Now, pools are a classic British thing, because it's all based around the ability to predict draws. No score draws. Yes, you can win big money by being able to guess which will be the most boring matches in the league. Put across by the games, which will be 90 minutes of goalless midfield scrapping, and where at the end of the day, football was the loser, Brian. It's like betting on horses and having to predict which one will come in 8th.
The stakes in the pools are high. A big win on them can get you an instant £2 million. Certain people are presumably forbidden to get involved.
And finally, Scottish League Division 2. Alloa 0, Brechin 1. Arbroath 2, Clyde 2. Yes, yes! Dumbarton 1, Stranraer 0. East Fife 3, Queen's Park 3. Shit, I don't believe it. Oh my God, I can't look. Someone else read it. East Stirling 1, Berwick 1. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, my God, one more, and I never have to do this bloody job again. One more, and I can tell the BBC where they can stick their classified bloody results. Oh, God, I'm going to have a sauna and a jacuzzi, and I'm going to lie in it and have the blonde one off of Baywatch pour champagne all over me. Oh, yes, Queen of the South 2, Albion 0. One more, just one more. Stenhousemuir versus Cowdenbeath is a late kick-off!
Meanwhile, why do only old people win the pools? No one under about 90 ever seems to win. Actually, they do. It's just that only someone in advanced stages of senile dementia would forget to tick the box marked no publicity.
Oh, should I check this box? Please tick if you do not want hundreds of threats and begging letters every week, a vastly increased chance of being burgled, an unflattering photo of you plastered on every double-decker bus in the country, and if you do not want all your winnings invested in the Daily Mirror pension fund. Oh, no, that sounds nice. Would you like another cup of Alzheimer's, dear?
Littlewoods pools have another box. Please tick if you do not want to spend your winnings at Littlewoods. People who forget to tick this end up with £1 million worth of V-neck cardigans and polyester slacks.
Come on. Yes, yes. Come on, you vicious swine. Come on. Oh, come on, tell me. No, just tell me the results. Yes. I'm rich.
I live with a constant background noise of sex. On and on and on, sex. I even went to yoga classes eventually because I thought, you know, Buddhism, meditation, here at last perhaps is a carnal-free zone, and the yoga teacher was absolutely gorgeous. She'd be bending over, talking to the class through her legs, saying, "We call this position the swan." I'll be saying, "Yeah, I call this position the tripod."
I know, it just seems like my loins get to do all my thinking for me, you know, like which holiday resort, which part of the train to sit down on, but one day I'm going to get my revenge.
Mr. Newman, you have 2 minutes on the life and times of Herbert von Karajan, starting from now. In what year did von Karajan premiere his reworking of Puccini's La Bohème?
I've no idea, Magnus, but perhaps my Dick would like to answer you. Since it's the big expert on everything. Come on, La Bohème, come on. Well, it appears to have no idea, Magnus, making me wonder whether or not it might have got some other questions wrong recently as well.
Should you have jeopardized a lifelong friendship with Emma by getting off with her?
Well, as I remember, Magnus, it said a most emphatic yes.
Incorrect. The transient pleasure was outweighed by the introduction of awkwardness into your relationship.
Well, 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 it appears the Dick was wrong. Well, I never. Oh, God! Oh, God! I know, in all this I talk about sexual fix and all that, I will never be able to understand George Bernard Shaw. I don't, of course, mean the rather ordinary plays he left behind. I mean the superhuman sacrifice George Bernard Shaw once made for the sake of an epigram.
Mr. Shaw, you and I should make love, for with my looks and your brains, we would have wonderful children.
Aha! But what if the child were born with my looks and your brain?
Terribly good, Shaw. Terribly good.
Oh no, I've just blown out a definite shag! What a
Children often get their first experience of bereavement through the death of a family pet. At that age, it can be particularly traumatic if the pet has to be taken to the vets to be put down.
Now, Timmy, I'm afraid that Towser's going to have to be put to sleep because I can't make him better. He'll be happier like this because he won't feel a thing. All right? Good boy.
Be terrible for vets. I know so many people who've had dogs or cats who they've had to have put down that vets must be doing it all the time. Some of them must be making a packet on the side. 6 Dalmatians in one end, Richard O'Brien's jacket out the other. Usually, the method they employ is to administer a lethal injection, but there are other techniques, like hanging. And in some states of the US,
and we're not allowed to tell you which cosmetics manufacturer we got those pictures from. Yes, indeed. Of course, dogs have got the same emotional hold on the British as guns have on Americans. Everyone thinks they're great, no one thinks you should need a licence to own them, and they both kill people. The only difference is that a 44 Magnum doesn't crap on the pavement afterwards. Whenever some dog's gone berserk, they always say on the news, the animal has been put down. But of course, that could mean something totally different. You smell, your real mother abandoned you when you were a puppy, and you're really ugly. Actually, I do have to confess that I don't really like dogs very much, but I do make exceptions for working dogs, like those ones they train to sniff out drugs. Now, the problem there is once you've trained a dog to do that, how do you know whether they're sniffing for work or for pleasure? You're going up to other dog owners in the park saying, excuse me, I have reason to believe that your spaniel must have half a kilo of heroin up its arse.
Yes, well, this has been identified as a neurological condition where the patient is unable to prevent his speech patterns from sounding like those of sarcastic phrasing. He would want to say, oh, what an absolutely fantastic flower bed that is, but it would always come out as, oh, what an absolutely fantastic flower bed that is. They say love heals, and certainly I was pleased to hear that Ray was in a relationship serious enough to be invited to dinner at the young lady's parents.
Oh, this food is nice. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Cool. You certainly didn't get this out of a packet.
So, anyway, Mandy said you were only 7 at the time. No, we already gave ours to the gypsies.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. Oh, ha, 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 ha. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my whole life. Already gave ours to the gypsies. Woo! Excuse me, I'm laughing so much I've got to go to the toilet. Oh, no, don't cry. That's really going to upset me.
Oh, sod off, you bastard! I never want to see you again!
Oh, no. What a personal disaster.
There was always something saintly about Ray, somehow, and so it came as no surprise to me when for a time he joined those who seek to spread the word of God.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's going to make your life a lot better. Oh, yeah, he's still relevant in today's society. Oh, hallelujah. I believe he was the Son of God. I believe he did walk on the water. I believe he did turn water into wine. Oh, yeah, I believe.
Meanwhile, I was continuing to make progress with my discovery that the only things Ray's voice would allow him to say genuinely would be just those things that everyone else would say sarcastically.
The Irish have certainly got a humane attitude towards abortion. What a superb player that Jeff Thomas is. A Colonel Sanders bargain bucket, please.
Freud says nothing happens by chance. And I thought about this when afterwards Ray had his near-fatal accident. Because if there was any one person who this particular accident shouldn't have happened to, it was Ray.
Oh, no, help! Ow, 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 ow! Look at me, one arrow's gone right through my brain. No, it really has. Oh, no, what a personal disaster.
The Crystal Maze. Now, there's a cult programme. In fact, what's cult about it is the contestants and the fact that some of them seem to be almost unbelievably stupid.
All right. Come along, follow me. Come along now. Here we are in the industrial zone. Now, how many crystals have we got? 1. Frankly, that's rubbish. Right, who wants to play a game? You do.
Yes.
Now, what sort of game do you want? An incredibly easy game?
Yes.
Right, okay, this is the making a cup of tea game. We've got 2 minutes in to go now.
I can't see what I have to do! Put the cup in the teapot! It won't fit! I can't fit it!
No, try putting the milk on your head and hopping.
No!
I think you have to pour out a cup of tea.
I'm coming out!
I once wrote a hit West End musical, you know. You don't catch Andrew Lloyd Webber having to put up with this crap.
Perhaps the most famous cult musical is the Rocky Horror Show, the one where the audiences dress up like the characters. Now, the problem here is that the original generation who saw that show are now in their 40s, and frankly, they now prefer the opera. Of course, some people have got more specialised tastes. Hugh is actually the founder member of the American Soap Opera Opening Titles fan club. So how long's that been going then?
About 4 years.
And which one's your favourite?
Knots Landing.
Of course, the moment something becomes popular, it's no longer cult. Now that Thunderbirds is on again, you can't call it a cult anymore. But Jerry Anderson has cult early films, which are seldom seen. Like Madonna and like Stallone, he has tried to suppress his long-lost porn film.
Hey, baby, let's do it. Uh-oh, no genitals.
Oh, tie me up. Oh, no need. I already am.
Call International a rescue.
I was just watching Panorama.
Mr. Shaw, fancy a shag?
Fancy? It is the darling of society, but the outcast of the soul. Oh no, I've done it again! Well, later on, Mike Norvell will be dropping in to talk about the West End success of his song and dance adaptation of George Eliot's Middlemarch. But right now, I'm very pleased to say that our special guest is none other than popular entertainer Barney Cliffsop.
Hello, Ivan.
Barney, hello. It's great to have you here.
Oh, it's great for us both to be here, Ivan.
I must say, I've always been a big fan of yours. I think it's marvellous how you've built up a successful career despite having polio. Oh, hold on. Those are your own legs. It's not a real ostrich, you bastard! You've made fools out of everyone! It's all Cliffsop is a ponce, a swag, and the biggest liar in Britain! It's all got a bit tricky now! It's got a bit tricky! Don't be misled! It's one of those things they put on the top of toilet lids! And that's all right!